Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's Friday, April 26th, 2024. It's about 10:30 in the morning Central Time, and I want to talk a little bit today about prospecting intraday and also market analysis using ETFs primarily. As usual, any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you're not using the software, hopefully after watching my videos you will. It's extremely powerful and you can do a lot of modifications to modify the program to your liking, or just use my files if you're a member of the Insider Club. The way I've got my screen set up here is this is a weekly chart, this is a daily chart, or my 2B contextual chart, context chart 3, 6, and 18, so I can see the crossovers. And I've also added a force index to this. Now there's a black version of this also. For this I'm going to use the white version. Then I have the warehouse view up here, and where I currently am is in the, and you have to be a member of the Insider Club to get this, I'm in the market analysis user groups, the major ETFs and ETNs, and I've added a few more. You can see that I have all the S&P spider sectors in here, the ETFs, along with several other ones. I'm going to go to the warehouse view, and in the warehouse view, I'm currently in scorecard ETFs intraday, but I'm going to switch to the end of day, and this is the way the market looked last night based upon the percentage price change. You can see the miners were on top, the Ultra VIX was up 3.1%, semiconductors were up 2%, and that's all well and good, but this is yesterday's information, which in a way is old news. Well, it is old news. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the combo rank so it's not going to be resorted, and what it's going to do when I go into the intraday where I was before, it's going to hold these in the same order, and this is what I mean by old news. Several of these ETFs are down today. The ones that were up at yesterday's close, and you can see the time here. Eastern Standard Time is current, so these are all current prices. This is why I don't spend a whole bunch of time at the end of the day or pre-market. I do look some, but the market is so dynamic and changes all the time that if you're going to do analysis, make sure that you have thinkorswim driving HGSI, and just by applying the intraday and the combo which goes with this, which is intraday percentage price change one day, you can see how the market has changed. That Ultra VIX, which was up yesterday, is now down 3.82%. And what's leading? The Ultra Pro QQQ. This is a 3 times ETF, up 4.54%. Now Bitcoin has been struggling recently, and this is the short Bitcoin. You can see it's up 2.36. Communication sector is up 2.36. Why? Because Google is in that sector, and it is a driving force. Now, market vector semiconductors are up. They crossed over yesterday on a strong rally day. That group was one of the leading industry groups yesterday, and they're following through today. My point is here that it changes so much day to day. This is if you have the ability to do intraday prospecting, this is the time to do it. Now I want to show you one more thing. I'm in the major ETFs and ETNs. If you want to isolate just on the spider sectors, just go down here and click on this folder, and this shows you what's going on with the sectors, and you can see I've eliminated everything except the spider sectors. And there's that communications sector followed by the tech center and then consumer discretionary that are up to date. What's down? Energy, utilities, financials, and so on. So it's just a quick read, but I'm going to go back up here to the major ETFs and ETNs, and this way I get a broad look at the market. I can also tell how much demand there is. Let's find, I'm going to sort on the intraday volume to the 90-day moving average volume. You can see that the commodity index shares, the volume is 200% above normal, followed by transportation, silver, and so on. Let's see if I can find, here's the QQQ. You can see it's running 44% above average. And this information here is the intraday volume, the last volume, and the estimated volume. HGSI does all this for you based upon the information from the prior day. And then here's the 90-day moving average volume. So you can see that volume on the Qs is much heavier than the 90-day average. So let's take a look at the SPY. If I can find it, I'll just sort on this. And the intraday volume's 20 million. Last volume was 69. The estimated volume is 61, but you can see that the estimated volume is red. So the SPY is not seeing as much demand. Here's the 90-day moving average volume, and here's the estimated volume. So not as much interest in the S&P 500 stocks today as there is in the QQQs, which represent the NASDAQ 100. But this is a place I like to come, and with the addition of the other ETFs, I get a broad look at the market. And then if I want to go possibly buy or look for some options to put on one of these ETFs, the ETFs that do trade options, I can do that. And just by going down here to the next two folders, or scans I should say, here's the ETFs with weekly options, and here's intraday. So these are the major ETFs and ETNs, and these trade weekly options. Okay, I'm going to minimize this. Let's take a look at the market vectors. I'll minimize this here. And you can see the weekly chart has been very strong on this. We've had several weeks of sideways movement. Last week it was down sharply. This week it opened in this area and it's been moving up, and you can see that over here in the daily chart. Now, yesterday there was a VPA flag right here, and that high volume up bar closing on the high indicates strength. You just click on that and it tells you what it was, and you can see as I open this up that the 3 crossed the 6 yesterday right here. The histogram went positive after the hard sell-off here. Notice how these histogram bars became shorter because the moving averages were coming together, and then yesterday on the big move up it crossed over, and it's following through today. Also, the volume point of control went green yesterday. The force index 10, this is the 10-day, not the 2-day, it has not turned positive yet. I just stuck this in here to compare it to the volume point of control for responsiveness and so on. And you can see some days they're the same, but other days the 10 period lags. Okay, let's say I'm interested in this, but I'm not going to pay over $200 a share. I just wouldn't get that many shares. So what I could do, since I know these trade weekly options, I can go in to, this is a paper version of thinkorswim. Here's SMH right here. Get rid of this. And here's a chart of it right here. You can see the 3 cross the 6 there. Volume was good yesterday. It's not showing much volume. Let's go back to here. And you can see the volume is barely registering above normal for the, or projected volume for the day is barely above normal, which kind of surprises me. But if you think this is a good trade, and it is on a buy right now, according to some of the parameters, you'd have to outlay a substantial amount of cash, because it's what, $217 right now, or you could go in and buy options, sell options, or do a debit spread if you want to participate. Now, what I want to do is move on from here. At some point, I will get into using HGSI and prospecting, and then go in and look for some potential option trades, but I'm not going to do it today. I want to get on to other things here. So I'm going to get out of the ETFs and ETNs. I'm going to just go into all securities right now, and I want to show you how we can really see what's going on in the markets. And I'm going to close down everything, and I'm going up to this folder here. This is my intraday folder. Pretty much it's both end of day and intraday, but primarily intraday. Now I'm going to open this up. Before I get too far along, I want to see where the strength is in the industry group. So I'm going to bring up the designer, click on industries, and rebuild the indexes in the group. It's under the tools menu. So what it's doing is taking the current data, and it's rebuilding the industry groups. So I know what the industry groups are doing. Now I need to get out of major ETFs and ETNs, go to all securities. I'll hold my alternate key, hit the space bar, and then reapply the filter. Now if you look over here, this is money flow in all securities. 1,638 of them are trading at least at 50% of their daily range, at or above, and their price is up. You can see the industry groups over here. I'll make this full screen so we can see it a little bit better. So earlier, the semiconductors were near the top. The manufacturers are down here. The group's up 1.99%, and the device is up 1.7%. So the semiconductors are following through. We saw that with the ETF, but they're not the strongest group. The strongest group is TPC, Tudor Perenni. That group is up 22.10%, but there's only a couple of stocks in here. Other mine minerals are second. Computer hardware is third, and so on down the list. Now I'm going to drop down to the next view, because this is the same list of stocks except with a different combo, and it's showing me stocks that are most in demand. And here's one I've never heard of, YSG. It's trading at 100% of its range, up 8.72%. The volume is well above average, and a gap 3.58, and the earnings date was today. If you look over here, I'm sorry, it was not today. I was looking at last day. So I don't know what the news is here, but let's bring it up and take a look at it. And let's first of all take a look over here on the left side, and you can see the weekly chart. It's been moving up every week for the last 4 weeks. Let's take a look and see if there's any information on it. Personal care, consumer discretionary, beauty products. Okay, let's see if there's any other news, but look at this. Looking at it, the weekly chart looks good, and you can see where the crossover was clear down here. Yes, it's very tough to buy these, and especially when the weekly charts have been going down. But you can see that here was a crossover. Here's an effort to rise, and it stayed above the 3 and the 6 all the way up here. This is a micro trend, 3 above the 3 and the 6. You can see it over here, micro trend. And if it stays, a stock stays above that without crossing back down, that's a pretty good indication there's a lot of strength. These are pocket pivot, volume pocket pivots. Here's your VPOC, here's your 10-day force index. And it continues to move. Okay, let's go up here. Let's see if there's any information about earnings. Well, these are all negatives. There has to be a news story of some sort out there. I'm going to hit my alternate N key for news. Now, I primarily go to bar chart. I have a Premier membership to get rid of all the ads, and it expands the capabilities. But let's see if there's any news on this. That was December 31st. I don't see any recent news on it. I'm going to look at options prices. Wow, $4.81 stock with options. I don't think it's actively traded. Well, you can see down here, put volume 0, call volume total open interest 146. So you can get caught, you can get stuck in a stock like this or in the options if you put on options trades. I don't know what the news is, but there's a lot of other news sites that you can go to. I just default to bar chart. If you go to more info from the web, we can go to Yahoo and see if there's anything. Regain compliance with the minimum price. That was 15 days ago. Here's the annual report that was filed, but this stock started moving a long time ago. I'm going to go back to my default, which is bar chart. Close this. So anyway, how I got here was through the demand combo. I think that's what I did. Anyway, look, it's fallen all the way to 254 now, sorting on raw combo. So you can see how sensitive that combo is. There's a new list of stocks at the top here. I'm going to do something here. If you click on this up here for the combo rankings and type in most, if you under my name, I'm going to click on most active up. And what is this? Oh, I need to reapply my filter. This is going to locate stocks based upon this combo. I call this most active. I'll open it up. Intraday percentage price change 1 day is rated at a third, as is the percent volume to the 20-day and the 90-day volume. So if there's heavy volume and the price is moving up, this stock is up 41.19%. This is the most active stock. Now, the first place you look's over here at the left-hand side, and you can see the weekly chart is a disaster. And there is some volume coming into this biotech stock. I wouldn't look any further. Let's look at the next one, CGEM. Now this one, the weekly chart has been strong, had been strong, pulled back, and then this week it's moving up sharply, and you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days here. This is another biotech. Let's do a quick news check on this alternate N. See if there's anything. No, there's nothing current out there. This is a 2023 story. So something's going on, but it hasn't hit the news. What we can do always is go into thinkorswim and check out their news feed right here. A lot of times bar chart doesn't have it, so I always like to come into thinkorswim. And here is a story from 424. And here's the information right here. I'm not going to read it, but it's obviously good news. And let's go back and look at HGSI. The movement on the daily chart started right here, and that had a strength seen returning after a downtrend. There's a confirmation of strength and effort to rise on the same day, the crossover. So the news was coming out at this point. There was a story from yesterday, which would have been right here, but somebody knew something right here with this effort to rise, and you can see there's big volume coming in. You certainly wouldn't buy this on fundamentals, but you're buying the future when you trade these biotechs and hope they come through. The rumors and information must have started way back here when it was $8. And this is a triple, more than a triple from the beginning of the year or the last December. Just out of curiosity, I paused the video and I ran the symbol CGEM against the money flow in and out and stocks and groups moving to the upside. It started appearing, I went back to December, started appearing on the 19th of January. I'm going to copy this, do a Control F, and paste that over here. And all of these instances were money flow in beginning on January 19th. So let's go back and look. Alternate crosshair, alternate info, January 19th. There's the 22nd. So right here on that effort to rise in the crossover, this stock was starting to appear. Now, I didn't go back into these dates back here, and that is, 12, 13? Yes, I did. I went back there. But it started appearing here on the money flow and then made this nice run. And then, let's see what it's appeared recently. Okay, 321, it appeared, these are money flow out here where it isn't yellow. So money flow in started again on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. There's the 23rd right there, so it was showing up in my money flow industry groups on that day here, and it's going to show up again today if it stays up like this. So you should pay attention to those money flow groups that do appear every day, and it's a good way to see where the money's flowing and so on. I just want to prove to myself that it was working, and it did, and then it started working again here. There were several money flow outs, but the money flow in came back in. Now, this video is getting longer than I wanted, which is usually the case, but I want to show you some other things here. I'm going to go down to the intraday money flow, and I'm going to go to these sector stocks. So what this shows us when I'm sorted on raw combo, the industry percentage price change one day. These stocks are at least at 50% of their daily range, and you can see where the money is flowing both on the industry group and the sectors over here. The sort on this is the percentage price change one day. Now it's updating right now, so I'll let it update. But the next one goes to demand. So the combo is the demand combo, and you can see Ball Corporation goes to the top of the list. And if you want to concentrate only on stocks that had VPA flags, just go down to the next one. This is intraday, but all of these had VPA flags. Now I've done this for several views, both long and short. Here's all securities VPA. If there's a VPA flag, now I didn't specify if it's a long flag or a short flag, but if we're looking at stocks with a VPA flag and there was a negative flag, like right here, Textron, a down bar, and it's up today, that means it's reversing. You can see the down bar, and then buyers are coming in, assuming this is an oversold stock. But these other stocks, like Test for Supply or Effort to Rise, KLA 10 Core yesterday, I know very quickly, without searching for it, that it had an effort to rise, and it's following through again today. And this is an expensive stock, so only the funds with billions of dollars can afford to go in there with a large cash outlay, or wealthy hedge fund traders and so on. But it could be played with options if they're reasonably priced and the spread isn't too great. I'm going to go into thinkorswim and see what's available. I'm using paper money for this. The time to buy this would have been yesterday or down here, but the crossover was yesterday, as you can see on the histogram. Still, I'm going to go in and see what's available. This seems to have quite a bit of momentum. So I'll bring the chart up here. I've already gone to KLAC, and you can see that I'm going to go into my analysis. I'm going to add simulated trades. I'm going to look at 21 days until expiration, and let's see what this looks like. Now, what I'm going to do is set up what's called an in-out spread. This is called an in-out spread because one is in the money, one strike price is in the money, the 700. If this is ghosted, it's in the money, and here's the out of the money. I didn't mean to click on those and get all these down here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy. This is pretty widespread, but let's see what the debit looks like. 90 cents is kind of high, but we're in a really expensive stock, $704. So I'm going to click on this to buy that call, and I'm going to sell the call right here. There's no open interest in it, so it may or may not work. You can see there's no open interest. May have to go to this one right here. But I just want to show you the theoreticals here. So let's look at the risk profile. The debit is 255, which 260, that's right in range. And you can see where we are right now. This cyan line represents at expiration 21 days from now. The max profit would be 240, the max loss would be 260, and the magenta line represents what will happen if this stock moves up. And this will change depending on the amount of time left, but you can see that if the stock keeps moving up, let's say it moves up and you make $135 on it, that would be over 50% gain on risk. The beauty of these in-out spreads is that it allows people like me to play these stocks without risking a whole bunch of money and letting me sleep at night. I'm still participating, and if you think about, you may say, well, it's only $100 or $150. Well, don't think of it in those terms. You can buy multiple options. Think about your risk and think about the percentage gain on the amount of capital risk. That's the way you have to view these. Now it's right at 260 right now. I'm going to, if I were to confirm this and send this is a simulation. Break-even stock price is 702.60. The max profit is 240. Max loss 260. Commissions $1.30. And $260 out of the account. So I'm just going to send it, and it may or may not fill. You just let it sit up here and you try to get it filled for that amount. I do quite a few of these in-out debit spreads because I know the risk. And another thing about them, as far as volatility, you don't worry about volatility like you do with buying a call outright, where if the volatility shrinks, the value of the option just disappears because one offsets the other. See if I have... Oh, here's an implied volatility here. So if I'm buying this with a volatility of 34.66, the 700, and selling the 705, you can see the volatility numbers are about the same. So one offsets the other, and then you just need a directional move going in the upward direction, of course. But you don't have to worry about the effect of volatility on the trade because it's all baked in. They offset each other. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and we can discuss these in-out spreads more in the future. It's a basic spread. You don't have to know a lot about options to trade them, and I keep saying I'm going to do a session on these, and I will get around to that hopefully this next week. Thanks for listening, and have a good weekend.